All right, say hello to the laptop, everybody, because today we're reviewing headphones. Let's get to it. All right, welcome back to Gadget Conquest, everybody. I am here with you with some Roccat headphones. So Roccat's a company that's been around for a while. They've always been sort of a more, I wouldn't say value-oriented, but definitely a less expensive brand than the major brands like Corsair and Logitech. However, they have been producing some really good stuff lately that has been sort of price competitive with the alternatives from the other brands. And their ELO, let's go with ELO. I like ELO. The ELO 7.1 Air. These are wireless headphones using their, what do they call that? Stellar wireless. That's right. So very similarly to how Logitech calls their wireless technology Lightspeed wireless, Roccat has their own wireless technology that they call Stellar wireless that these particular headphones use. They also have, I believe, some mice that use that same Stellar wireless technology. It's 2.4 gigahertz wireless. They just call it Stellar for whatever reason. So we're going to be doing an unboxing and a quick review of these headphones, and we'll also be doing a comparison with my, here we go, my daily drivers, the Logitech G733s, which I need to go get the microphone for. I don't remember where I put it, but we'll get that. So we'll be doing a comparison of the microphone quality, the fit and finish, and also the sound quality in comparison to these, and we'll see how that goes. So let's get started. Actually, before I do that, let's mention the price. These are actually $100, so they're $99.99, and they go on sale occasionally for $89.99. I happen to have bought them on sale for $89.99. And that puts them at about $30 cheaper than the G733s. These are $129.99, so $130 versus $99.99, $100, so $30 difference. These would be more price competitive and probably feature competitive with something like the Corsair Void RGB wireless headset. That one, I believe, is $99.99. And also I think the SteelSeries Arctic 5 wireless, maybe? There are some loud noises outside. So they'd be a little bit more price competitive with those headphones, but the G733s are the ones that I have. And hey, if they end up sounding better than the G733s, then, you know, it's a pretty good solution since they're $30 cheaper. Now, unboxing experience. The cardboard on the outside actually looks pretty good, and it's not too big. However, it does go into a pretty cheap plastic. Yeah, it's cheap plastic on the inside. However, I'm not going to hold that against them because like I said with the, sorry, I'm getting a little bit too into it. Like I said with the HyperX SoloCast, if they can save some money on the total experience by using cheap plastics for the packaging and not cheaping out on the actual device itself, then at the end of the day, that's a good thing for us, the consumers, right? So here we have a microphone. The sort of arm part of the microphone isn't particularly covered with anything. It's just kind of like a rubber silicone kind of deal there. It does bend quite a bit, which is pretty good. And the microphone itself, interestingly enough, actually at the end has this, I would say probably like a 30-degree angle where it ends. So it is more directionally pointing at your mouth, which I think is really cool. So you don't have to actually bend it too much to get it pointing at your mouth. That is really, really cool. And I am noticing now, most of the time these microphones use a 3.5mm audio jack. I know the one on the G733 does, but this is not a 3.5mm. I think this is one of those mini jacks. So it's, I believe, 2.5mm, maybe even 1.5mm. It's very, very thin, very, very small. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, but that's what you got. Over here, we have the actual wireless dongle, which is very small as compared to the G733 dongle. So this is the dongle for the G733. This is the dongle for the ELO 7.1 Air. Very, very small dongle. Wow, that is a big difference in size. Oh man. What does this say? Yeah, it just says ELO 7.1 Air TX should be for transmitter, I believe. And there is your dongle. It does have a light on it as well, which is pretty cool. Then we have a cord. It looks like the charging cable. These are wireless, but they do have an internal battery, and they do come with a charging cable. It is a USB-A to USB Type-C, which is really cool to see. The G733s also had a USB Type-C. Most headphones nowadays don't actually still use micro B, mostly because of the fact that most headphones today are just old headphones that have been refurbished, or they're just still manufacturing an old headphone design. So when you see these that have a Type-C, you can kind of be like, oh look, those are actually new. They were at least designed within the past few years. And this cable, is it just me, or is this is a good sized cable? I think this is a 2-meter cable. Yeah, this is a 2-meter cable, and the cable's pretty nice and supple. It feels good. This is a nice cable. All right. Good on you, Roccat, for giving us a pretty decent USB cable there. All right, and now the main attraction. Wow, that's a lot of silica gel. All right, the main attraction is the headphones themselves. So a very different look as compared to the G733s. I will say, let's see, as far as it's heavier, but I wouldn't say it's significantly heavier, which is kind of interesting because these are just plastic. But it's not super heavy. They feel sturdy, honestly. Actually, they feel really sturdy. The cups on either end rotate all the way around like this, which is pretty cool. It's nice when you put them on your neck like that. And then we have this head strap, which is something that they actually talk about on the packaging here, is that it is a self-adjusting head strap, as you can see. So when I pull on this, it actually pulls itself up, and then this band on top is metal. I'm not sure what kind of metal, kind of feels like steel. It's pretty strong, but it is a strong metal, so that's good. And yeah, it just kind of, you pull on it and it moves. That's cool. The wires for the cups are on the outside, but it is a braided cable, which is nice. I honestly would have liked to have seen them be integrated with the plastics and just put into the cup itself the way that the G733 does. You can't even see the cable, but it is actually hidden in there, which is pretty cool. But this is just another design that people or manufacturers use. The cups themselves have some lights, so it looks like on the outside, according to the packaging, here we got a nice little peel here. According to the packaging, the Roccat logo on the outside here is actually illuminated. I don't know if it is RGB. All right, cool. So this is an RGB logo, which is pretty cool at the price point. And then I believe the other side, there we go. The other side where it just says Roccat is also RGB, so it's RGB on both sides. How you feel about sporting their brand so openly like that really depends on you. Logitech does have their G on it as well, although I will say Roccat's is a little bit more gamery given the topic there. Other than that, we have what looks like some nice thick plush ear cups with some of that protein-based leather or whatever. It feels good. It's nice and plush. The inside of the cups does not have any. It's just like the G733 where the inside of the cups doesn't have any padding whatsoever. Sometimes you'll see the inside of the cup has some padding. This just has a mesh over it, just like the G733 does. And then as far as buttons go, let's see what we got here. We have actually two rockers on here. One for volume, so this is the volume of the headphones, and then it is lightly ratcheted, and it also does not have it's bottomless, so it does not actually have a top or a bottom. It will just go on forever, which is actually a pretty good feeling. And the other one is actually for the microphone. So this does have a separate microphone volume knob here. And then we have a mute button for the microphone. And we have a power button with a power LED, which I believe is also a charging LED when in use in that way. There does not seem to be any buttons on the other side, which is fine. We don't actually need to see buttons on the other side. So this is, the way I'm holding it now is the way you would put it on, with the right side here and the left side here. All the controls are on the left side, on the back of the left side. Let's see how comfortable this is. Huh. Interesting. So the first thing I'm noticing right away is I immediately tried to adjust it, which is really weird. A really strange feeling to go to put headphones on and then immediately try to adjust them and realize, oh, I don't need to adjust them. They already just kind of fit, which is pretty cool. It's not a super tight fit. I could easily get this to come off, but the seal is really good given the plushness of these cups and the material that they're made of. It does form a really, really good seal. So I don't think that the fit being not too tight is a problem, although it is a nice and firm fit. But it's comfortable. I like it. Now, if your head maybe goes all the way to the top, you'll notice my head did not make this rise all the way to the top. If yours makes it rise all the way to the top there, it might not be as comfortable for you, but I think I have a pretty average size head. Maybe a little bit more on the larger side, I don't know, but for me it was pretty decent. Actually, these are pretty comfortable. I like it. All right, let's try these out, shall we? I'm going to clean all of this up, get my computer set up with with our two sets of headphones, and I will be right back. Give me 1 second. How we're going to do this? Let's clap. And we're back. Okay. Before I get into testing these headphones, I realized I had skipped the reading material. There's a quick start guide right on the front of the reading material, and I didn't look at it. Can you believe it? This is me we're talking about. I love quick start guides. So we're going to very quickly just take a second and appreciate this quick start guide, and hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's not bad. Here's a warranty card. Here is a link to their software, which you need for some of their extra settings. So the 7.1 surround sound, which I recommend no one use. Always use headphones in stereo mode. Don't use them in surround sound mode. The RGB lighting controls, the EQ settings, so there are EQ settings, which is pretty cool. Microphone settings, and also a mode that they call superhuman hearing, which I believe is like, it focuses more on the highs, I think? Not entirely sure about that. And then after that, we have here the quick start guide, which is, you know, kind of my thing. Tells you what you've got in it. You've got your charging cable, you got your transmitter, your headset, your removable microphone. tells you all of the buttons, what everything does, and let's see what else we got on here. LED indication, so it tells you what the LEDs mean when they're doing certain colors, how to set it up on your computer, and that's it. It goes on in some other languages. No, it's technical facts. So after that is a bunch of technical facts and regulatory information. Nothing really important. It's a pair of, it's headphones. If you can't figure out headphones, it's really something wrong with you, not with the headphones. Come on, let's be real here. Okay, I've got the dongles connected. If there's interference between the two, oh well. Let's start with the G733 as the baseline. So I will listen to some music, and then I will record some audio, and I will let you guys listen to it, and then I will listen to it myself, and we'll make a decision out of it, shall we? Let's get these on. All right, headphones are on. Let's start. Let's put the computer over here where I can actually reach it. Let's start with a quick voice recording. So those of you that did not watch my G733 unboxing video, then you don't know what the voice recording sounds like. So let's do it again, shall we? Let me start by unmuting and then making sure that the correct microphone is selected by going to audio settings, picking the correct one there, sound settings, here we go, input device, G733. Okay, cool. So we've selected G733, and we are going to start recording now. Okay, so now we are recording audio on the Logitech G730, Logitech, there's no T at the end of Logitech, G733 headset. Remember, this is a $130 headset. It is $30 more expensive than our ELOs. And this is what they sound like. I think that's good enough, right? That's probably enough. Let's cut the audio there. Okay, so we've got that recording. I'm going to go ahead and rename it to G733. All right, and before I make any decisions, let's listen to some music now. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up Spotify. And you know what? I'm going to close Spotify. Let's listen instead to my theme song. How about that? How about that? Give me 1 second. I need to look for it, so I'm just going to cut, and then I'll come back once I've found it. 1 second. Okay. I found it. Let's start. Let me listen to it real quick. All right, so I've been using the G733 as my daily driver for, well, since I did my G733 video. Since then, I don't remember when that was, but it's been a while now. It's been a few weeks at least. So I'm sort of used to the sound profile that they have, where it's pretty good highs and mids and very little to no bass. But this is actually the sound profile that I prefer, especially for the video games that I like to play. And when I'm editing videos, I actually prefer the highs and mids because of my voice. So it makes it a little bit more clear and easy to edit my videos and also to play games. So I'm very comfortable with this sound profile. But I can admit that when it comes to bass, it's just really lacking. All right, so I've listened to quite a bit of that. Let's switch over to the ELOs and see how those sound. Okay. Don't fall, please. There we go. All right, so those are done. Let's see if these even have a charge. Okay, they turned on immediately, which is nice because oh, okay. On the G733s, to turn them on, you actually have to hold the power button for like 1.5 seconds. This, the moment I pressed the power button, it turned on, which was really nice. And wow, this is bright. I think the RGB on this is actually even brighter than the RGB on the G733, which is really interesting. So let's go ahead and put these on. Ooh, it's pretty cool. The leather has that like very cool feeling to it, and all right, I'm just throwing all the volumes all the way up. See how that sounds. So immediately I'm noticing that I think the yeah. So sorry. The microphone is actually playing back into the headphones, so I can actually hear myself as I'm speaking. I believe that is a feature you can turn on the G733 in Logitech software. It's interesting that it's on by default on these headphones. So let me go back to my audio settings and switch to the correct audio device, ELO 7.1 Air. ELO 7.1 Air. Okay. Okay, and then let me double check that the microphone is not muted, which I believe is one of these buttons somewhere. This one? Okay, so I'm pretty sure I just pressed the microphone mute button, and what I'm noticing immediately is that it's not playing the audio back to me anymore. So, actually kind of jarring. All right, so the microphone is unmuted now. Oh, let's see. It's headphones. If you can't figure out headphones, it's really something wrong with you, not with the headphones. Let's go over to here, and let's go ahead and just listen to this song again from the beginning. Okay, I actually think I need to refresh this page. It does not like to be switched out immediately like that, I think. Oh, it's not even connected anymore. That's interesting. So the transmitter was originally trying to receive a signal. We can unplug this one. The transmitter was originally blinking LED trying to receive a signal. I think over time it actually timed out, which the G733 does not do. The LED does not, the transmitter does not time out. It just keeps going until it connects. Let's see if, okay, so it's blinking, which means I believe that it's looking for a connection. And I assume once it's a steady light, then that means that it has connected. Hopefully. Okay, now it's just off again. Oh, no, it's blinking again. I have no idea. We'll see. Well, let's play. Let's just play. And yeah, I've got nothing. So it looks like the headphones actually are not connecting to the transmitter here. All right. So I just turned them off. All right, and now they're on. Oh, and now they've connected. So that's interesting. So the G733 and its transmitter, I guess the part of the reason the transmitter is so big here is because there's actually a lot of logic going on along with the continuous scanning to find the device. The transmitter for the Roccat here, our ELO, just starts looking when it's plugged in, and it's actually waiting for, I assume, a signal that the headphones send once they are turned on, which means if you have the headphones on and you plug in the transmitter, they don't sync correctly, which is kind of a pain in the butt. However, realistically, if you are at home and you have the transmitter plugged in all the time, how often will you be in a situation where that is the case, where you don't have the transmitter plugged in and you have the headphones on? That's realistically not a situation you're going to be in often, unless you're trying to pick these as travel headphones, in which case that is something that you would have to look out for. So now that we actually have it on and connected, look at me being an idiot, I can't even connect a pair of headphones to my computer. All right. Oh boy. All right, so the first thing I've noticed here is along with the audio quality, is that it's not, I wouldn't say it's as clear as the G733s. However, it's louder for sure, much louder. And the highs and actually, honestly, the highs, the mids, and the lows are all just at a higher level. It's overall, in my opinion, does sound, overall, I would say it does sound a little bit better. Just a little bit. However, a big part of it is just because of the fact that it is significantly louder, even at the same volume. So at 50% volume on the system, which adjusting the volume on the headphones, just like the G733, adjust the volume on the system as a whole, which was very different from, if you guys remember, the Corsair HS70 that I did. Those guys had their own separate volume adjustment in the DAC on the headphones that was completely separate from the system volume. These are not separate from the system volume. Lowering these does lower the system volume, just like the G733. And at 50% system volume, these are significantly louder. So if you want headphones that can get louder than the G733, while still being overall within the ballpark, I would say, the highs are higher and the lows are definitely have more power to them, but overall it's not as clear as the G733s were. So if you want something if you don't care that much about how high the highs are or how low the lows are, and you just want something that has really good clarity, I think the G733 is better in that instance, where these are just louder and have a much wider sound stage would be. But at the cost of some clarity. There's like it's almost like noise a little bit, like a little bit of noise. And I'm gonna say that that's probably just down to the quality of the drivers that they have in it. So let's move on to the microphone test real quick. All right, we have the correct device selected. And okay, we are now recording on the ELOs. So when I was wearing the G733s, I'm going to talk about the microphone real quick. When I was wearing the G733s, I actually noticed that the microphone on the G733s is significantly less malleable than the one on the ELO here. The ELO, I can get it way closer to my face without much issue. Although I don't feel like I need to get it closer to my face because it's already pointed at my mouth in the first place, which is super, super cool. So I'm going to listen back to the audio quality. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to listen back to the audio quality of these two as soon as this one's done recording, just to hear it. But man, I'm really hoping that the microphone on this one is better than the G733 because physically the microphone is better. So hopefully the driver is also better too. All right, let's stop recording now. Okay, and we are going to rename that file so that I don't lose it. I'm going to call it ELO 7.1 Air. That's what it is. All right, cool. So let's just go back and listen to them now. So I'm going to listen to the... Okay, so that's I just listened to the Logitech, and now I'm listening to the ELO. Wow, those sound almost exactly the same. Those are very, very similar. So I can't render a decision on the microphone quality between these two simply because of the fact that those sounded almost exactly the same to me. You guys are just gonna have to decide on that yourself. I can't give you one or the other, honestly. But I think that's it for the comparison here. Overall, I think that this is I think this is a slam dunk for Roccat, what they have here. This whole package is pretty nice. The body feels like it's rigid and tough, like it's gonna last. I like this auto adjusting strap here. You know, it has a, it definitely has a look to it. I don't know if it's a look that you will enjoy. I personally prefer the look of the G733. It's much more fun and playful, while this is a much more like sort of grungy or even industrial looking. However, if you prefer that grungy industrial look, then, you know, this will definitely be right up your alley. The RGB is on the outsides here, whereas on the G733, the RGB is on the front. So there is a difference there as well. The audio quality between the two, I would say, there is no clear winner. It really comes down to what you prefer. However, I would say that I probably am leaning a little bit more towards the G733 just because of the clarity of the audio. I don't really care that much for how loud it is like the Roccat. However, if you want a really loud audio, the Roccat would definitely be right up your alley. And the microphone is a toss-up. It really comes down to whatever, you know. So aside from that, there is the downside of the transmitter being not as good. The Logitech transmitter is definitely a lot better. Even though it is a lot bigger, it's smarter. It is. It's just smarter, and it does a better job of connecting to the headphones under all situations, whereas this one's kind of finicky, especially if you move around a lot. If you not move around a lot, but if you know if you have like a laptop that you take places and you're trying to use it with your laptop, this is a little bit more finicky. If you have a desktop or even just a laptop and you keep it at home all the time and you don't really move it around and you never really unplug the transmitter, then you really won't have any of the issues that I had just now setting it up. But that is definitely something to look out for. And finally is the price. Now, $100 versus $130. $30 is a lot of money. You can save that extra $30 to maybe upgrade your CPU in your computer, you know, or even get yourself a better mouse. You know, $30 can make the difference between, you know, a decent mouse and a great mouse. So that's definitely something to think about as well in that situation. So it really comes down to personal preference. I've sort of given you guys the tools that you need to decide here. I honestly don't know which one I'm going to stick with, to be honest. It might come down to range for me at the end of the day. The Logitech recently had an update that made the range kind of crappy. So I'm going to try out the Roccat ELOs here and see how the range is on them. And if they're better, I might just end up sticking with it. Oh, excuse me. But that's it. That's all I've got for you. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Seriously, subscribe. I'm only at 260 subscriptions. I need 1,000 before I can start monetizing my videos. So, like and subscribe. Subscribe. But if you have any questions, any comments, any concerns, you know where to put them. Down there in the comments. There will be product links for the Logitech and for the ELO here, Best Buy and Amazon if I can, and also their direct stores if I can find them as well. And that's it. I hope you guys have a great night. I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.